Arya bala ora narahari vilasadimo ora Vaishnaver padatuli ताहे मोर स्नान करी वैष्णवेर पद तुली ताहे मोर स्नान केली तर्पण मोर वैष्णव नाम अद्वैत आचार्य बल गदाधर मोरा कुल नरहरि विलासादिमो और वैष्णवेर पद धूली ताहे मोर स्नान केली वैष्णवेर पद धूली ताहे मोर स्नान केली तर्पण मोरा वैष्णव नाम तर्पण मोरा वैष्णव नाम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। परम सौभाग्य।
Hare Krishna. We are extremely fortunate that we are listening to the glories of the Panchatatva, or the five elements. And today we are going to listen and discuss about Sri Advait Acharya. In the 11th canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful pastime. Sometimes people ask that where are these five elements or Panchatattva described in Srimad Bhagavatam? So usually all the Gauriya Vaishnavas worship, pray, venerate and serve the Panchatattvas. So even in Srimad Bhagavatam, Panchatattvas or five elements are described. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the proof of every Vedic scripture, Vedas, Upanishads, etc. is in Srimad Bhagavatam. And in such Srimad Bhagavatam, the 11th canto, the five elements or Panchatattva are mentioned. How? Let's discuss. So in the Dwapar Yuga, the king of Mithila, Maharaj Janak, organized a great homa or fire sacrifice, and so many sages saints have gathered and to purify it and conclude the yajna, the sons of Lord Rishabh Devs, who always roam independently, they come through the sky to this fire sacrifice. And Lord King Janak, whose name is Nimi, he welcomes these sons of Rishabdev ji. He venerates them, welcomes them, and asks 9 questions to them. There is a beautiful pastime in this. The youngest among these sons of the youngest of these sages is Sri
भगवान् किं वर्णं कीदृशो नृभिः नाम्ना वाकेन विधिना नाम्ना वाकेन विधिना पूज्यते तदिहोच्यता। महाराज निमि,
so the king Nimi asks this beautiful question to the youngest son from Navyogeshwar, that is Karbhajan Rishi. He asked this beautiful question.
हे निमि महाराज, कृपया करके आप मुझे यह बताइए कि भगवान किस काल में, किस समय में, किस वर्ण को लेकर प्रकट होते हैं?
He asked that the Lord manifests as Lord in which varna and how he appears and what is the process to venerate him. So please share that with us. So Karbhajan Rishi was satisfied by Nimi Maharaj's question, and he told that in Satyuga the Lord is fair skinned, and to attain him in Satyuga is to meditate. In Treta he comes in red color, and to attain him the process is to perform fire sacrifice or yajna. And in Dwapara he comes as dusky skinned, and to attain him is to venerate the deities. And in Kali Yuga, what's the color of Bhagwan? Then this verse is mentioned by him. So, the Lord who manifests in Kali Yuga is mentioned here in this verse. Karbhajan Rishi says that Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. So in Kali Yuga, the Lord that manifests will chant the glories of Lord Shri Krishna. And in the next word, the description of all the Panchatatva. And then Nimi Maharaj asked that what will he carry as a weapon? Ramji came with bow and arrow. Krishna used at times his discus. Parshuramji used Parshu or an axe. So every Lord's incarnation had some weapon. So what is the weapon for the Lord in Kali Yuga? So he adds further Sango Panga Astra Parshadam. So we need to understand this word very carefully. So the Lord of Kali Yuga, the weapon is Sa-ang Up-ang Parshadam. So the weapon for the Lord of Kali Yuga is Sango, means his body. So the Lord in Kali Yuga has 3 weapons. First, his beautiful body. Second, he says Up-ang. So if you break this word, Upang and Astra Parshadam. So what is his weapon? First of all, his body. So in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested. Then what were his weapons? First, his body was his weapon. So that his beauty alone worked as a weapon. After seeing his extreme beauty, people used to accept righteousness, the principles of religious righteousness. So the second word, if you see in the first line, sang, then upang. And the other weapon for him was upang. That means or implies Panchatatva or 5 elements. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's limbs are the Panchatattva. So in this verse, that is in the 11th canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, the upang implies the Panchatattvas. And the third weapon is Parshadam, that is other associates. So they also worked as his weapons. So in other incarnations, Lord killed the demons, but in this incarnation of the Lord, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he, through the medium of his body and Panchatattva and his associates, he didn't kill the demons, but he killed their demonic qualities. So such Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this Kali Yuga. There is another word here, if you understand that. Sa-anga, up-anga, astra. So here, they are not saying Shastra, but they are saying Astra. He doesn't have the Shastra, but Astra. So what is the difference between Shastra and Astra? There is a slight difference. Shastra is which we can hold in our hand and kill someone. So it stays in our hand. For example, sword. So if we have to kill someone, then we don't leave our sword, we kill with that and keep it in our hand. So that is called a Shastra, but the weapon or something that we throw, that is called Astra. Example, rocket or missile. You don't keep it with us, otherwise the person will die. Example, bow or an arrow. So you have to leave. So that is the difference between Shastra and Astra. And there is such a subtle thing mentioned in Shrimad Bhagavatam. It is said that these Panchatattvas and these associates are Astra, not Shastra. Shastra that we keep in our hand and attack, but on other hand, Astra is with which we kill, but we have to send it.
और मूर्ख अज्ञानी पापी
So
जीवों को प्रचार करके उनको शुद्ध करने का
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to send his associates and Panchatatva
तो श्रीमद् भागवत
to
कितनी
the
बारीकाई से
demoniac
सुखदेव
people
गोस्वामी ने कहा
and
करभाजन ऋषि ने इसका उत्तर दिया
materialist, and he
तो इस प्रकार
changed their hearts,
अन्य
made
युगों
them
में अन्य
devotees.
अवतारों में श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु भगवान के
So
अन्य
in
रूपों
other
में
incarnations,
अलग अलग भिन्न भिन्न
the
अस्त्र
Lord
शस्त्र लेकर प्रकट हुए
manifested with different weapons,
श्री चैतन्य
but
महाप्रभु
in
का
Kali Yuga,
अपनी सुंदरता
his weapon was
अपने
his
पंचतत्व
beauty,
और
his
अपने
Panchatattva, and his eternal associates.
आज हमें श्री अद्वैत आचार्य के विषय में सुनना है
Today we are going to listen about Sri Advait Acharya and what is his role
श्री चैतन्य लीला में क्या भूमिका है
and what is his
हम इस पर
place in
चर्चा करेंगे
the pastimes of the Lord, of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We will discuss that today.
किसी ने पूछा था
So, a few days back, I was asked,
कि जीव का गंतव्य क्या है
what is the goal
संसार में प्रत्येक जीव का
of a living
अंतिम
entity?
गंतव्य फाइनल
That is
डेस्टिनेशन
the
क्या है
ultimate goal of
तो
any
शास्त्र में
living
कहा गया
entity
जीव का
is
अंतिम
should
फाइनल
be what?
डेस्टिनेशन
So,
ब्रज वृंदावन धाम
it is mentioned in the scriptures that
राय रामानंद संवाद में भी
the final destination for any living entity or the final goal is
किसी ने पूछा
Braj
कि
Vrindavan.
जीव का अंतिम डेस्टिनेशन गंतव्य वृंदावन है तो
So
फिर
if
मायापुर का
ask
क्या
that
रोल है
if a person
मायापुर नवद्वीप मायापुर
ultimate goal is to reside
ये
in
मायापुर
Vrindavan,
जाने की क्या
then
जरूरत
what
है
is the
ध्यान से
need
सुनिए
to go to Mayapur?
वैसे जीव का
So
अंतिम
please listen
डेस्टिनेशन
carefully.
अंतिम
So
गंतव्य
although
ब्रज
the
वृंदावन गोलोक
ultimate
वृंदावन
goal
है
is
लेकिन
Braj
उस
Vrindavan or
ब्रज
Golok
वृंदावन
Vrindavan,
में
but
जाने के लिए
to go to that
जो
Braj
वीजा लगता
Vrindavan,
है जो
the
अपने पासपोर्ट
stamping
में
of the
फोटो
visa
लगता है
on your
वो मायापुर
passport
में लगाना होगा
that you have to get from Mayapur.
मायापुर में थप्पा लगता है तब जाकर गौलोक में एंट्री मिलती
Once
है
you have the stamp of from Mayapur, then
श्री
only you get
चैतन्य
entry into
महाप्रभु को समझे
Golok
बिना
Vrindavan.
श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु को सुने बिना
Without
हम उस महिमा
understanding
में
or
प्रवेश नहीं
listening
कर
to
सकते
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
ये
we cannot
महाप्रभु के
enter
लिए
the
ये
pastimes of the
महाप्रभु
Lord.
का धाम एक एम्बेसी है
So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's
हमें इस
pastimes
मायापुर
and
में
his
यहाँ पर
holy place of
गौलोक का थप्पा
Mayapur
लगेगा तब जाकर वृंदावन में
is
प्रवेश
like an
होगा
embassy. And once we go there, only then we will be able to enter
कुछ भक्तों की
Braj
मन में
Vrindavan.
इच्छा हुई कि हम
So,
मायापुर जाएंगे
by listening to that, some
और इच्छा
people,
के साथ
devotees
साथ
desired that
सुनिए
we'll go to
ये
Mayapur,
हमारे बलदेव भाई
and
बैठे हैं
some
बलदेव
had
भाई
this,
है
and they had
इच्छा
this
भी है पैसे भी है दिल छूट है
capability
सब
as
कुछ है
well.
और इच्छा भी है कि नहीं
In
थप्पा तो लगाना है
so,
भाई
and they
वृंदावन
had
में
this
जाने के लिए
desire that
पासपोर्ट
we
में
need
फोटो
this
चाहिए तो
stamp,
मायापुर तो जाना है
so we
वहां
will go
गौलोक
to
के
Mayapur.
दर्शन करेंगे इच्छा है सामर्थ्य है लेकिन फिर भी योग नहीं
So
बन रहा है
they have desire, they
संयम
have
नहीं हो रहा है
capacity, but still they're not able to do that.
तब जाकर क्या हुआ एक
It's
आदमी
not
आया
materializing.
एक वैष्णव आया
So then a devotee
और उस
came
वैष्णव ने कहा कि हम
and he
मायापुर
said,
जा रहे हैं चलो आप भी
we are
हमारे साथ
going to
चलो
Mayapur, so you also accompany
तो
us.
मानो भरत भाई को ले लीजिए बलदेव
Then
भाई को ले लीजिए कहे
if
अरे
Bharat
मेरी
Bhai
इच्छा तो
says
है
that
मायापुर जाने
I
की बहुत
I
दिनों
have
से
this
सोच भी
desire,
रहा था
I am
लेकिन
thinking
क्या
and
करें बहुत
contemplating
काम
so with
बाकी हैं
from so many days, but
बहुत
so
काम
much
बाकी
work
हैं
is pending.
तब वो वैष्णव कहे चिंता मत करो
And
आपके
if that
सारे
Vaishnava
काम
says that
पेंडिंग काम पूरे हो जाएंगे दो आदमी को
all
साथ में लाया हूँ
all your
बाकी सारे
pending
काम कर
work will be
देंगे
taken care of, I have bought two people, they will take care of everything.
तब ये कहे कि ठीक है
And
काम
if
तो हो जाएंगे लेकिन मायापुर जाने के लिए पैसा भी तो चाहिए
but
बोले
we
ये
also
चिंता
need
मत करो मैं
wealth
आपको पैसे
to
भी दे
go
दूंगा
to Mayapur. So he said that don't worry, I'll give you
लेकिन ठीक है पैसे
money
तो
as
आप
well.
दे दोगे लेकिन मायापुर जाने के लिए टिकट तो चाहिए
So, but
चिंता
we
मत
also
करो
need a
मैं
ticket.
टिकट भी लेकर आया हूँ
I will arrange the ticket as well, or I've bought the ticket
आपने
as well.
टिकट भी ले ली है लेकिन बैग पैक कौन करेगा
Who will pack
मेरा
my
पैकिंग
bag?
कौन करेगा बोले चिंता मत करो
So he said that don't
मैं
worry,
आपकी बैग मैं पैक कर दूंगा
I will pack your bag.
बोले बैग तो आप पैक कर दोगे, लेकिन नाश्ता कौन बनाएगा? बिना
But who
खाए
will
पिए थोड़ी हम जा सकते हैं।
make
चिवड़ा,
the
गुजिया,
snacks?
शक्करपारा ये सब कौन बनाएगा? तब वैष्णव कहता
The
है, चिंता मत करो,
devotee says
मैंने
that don't
ऑलरेडी
worry.
बना लिया है,
I have
मैंने
already
ऑलरेडी दे दिया
prepared
है,
it
तुम चलो
and
बस
I'm
मेरे साथ।
carrying. You just come with me.
फिर ये
Accompany me.
आदमी कहे कि नाश्ता भी आपके पास है, लेकिन
If that person
एयरपोर्ट की
says that
फ्लाइट है, 12 बज
it's
चुके
3 o'clock
हैं,
flight,
अब एयरपोर्ट कैसे
it's already
पहुंचेंगे,
12.
गाड़ी कैसे मिलेगी?
How will we
अरे
reach the
बाप रे, मैंने
airport?
कैब बुक कर दी है और नीचे
He said
खड़ी
that
है, आप
we
तुरंत
already
चलो
have
मेरे
a
साथ।
cab in waiting. You just come.
बोले कैब भी बुक है, गाड़ी भी आ चुकी है,
The cab is already also
लेकिन
here,
उम्र हो चुकी है,
but
उस
the
मायापुर में हम
time
कहाँ
is up.
रुकेंगे, हमारी रूम
Where
कौन
will we
बुक करेगा,
stay?
कौन सी रूम में
Who
रहेंगे,
will make
कौन मुझे
arrangements
वहां
for our
रखेगा?
accommodation?
तब ये वैष्णव कहता है,
Where will be the
हमने
guest
गेस्ट
house,
हाउस भी बुक
etc.?
कर
Then
दिया
that
है,
Vaishnava says, we have
आप आओ
already
बस
taken
मेरे साथ।
care of that as well.
तब कहते हैं, चलो गेस्ट
You
हाउस तो
must
बुक हो
accompany
गया है,
me.
लेकिन मुझे मायापुर में घुमाएगा कौन? मैंने तो कोई दर्शन
He
किया
said,
नहीं, मैंने कुछ देखा नहीं,
I
मुझे
don't know
दर्शन
anything
के
about
लिए
Mayapur,
लेकर कौन
so
जाएगा?
who
तब ये
will
वैष्णव कहता है,
take
मैं
me to
आपको
the
लेकर
darshan?
जाऊंगा।
And he said that I will take you
जब
with
इस
me.
प्रकार से इनकी सारे प्रश्नों का उत्तर दे दिया, तब ये
So
आदमी
when
कहता है,
all
चलो
their
अब मैं आपके
questions
साथ
were
चलता हूँ,
answered,
गाड़ी में
then
बैठा
that
मायापुर
person
पहुंच
gets
गया।
ready that now I will accompany you. And
अब
he
ये
went to
आदमी की इच्छा
Mayapur.
तो थी मैं मायापुर जाऊं, लेकिन संजोग नहीं बन
So
रहा
he
था
had
कि
this
एक और
desire to go
वैष्णव
to
आए,
Mayapur, but
और उस वैष्णव
this
ने ऐसी कृपा की, ऐसी कृपा
was not
की कि
materializing.
इस
But
आदमी
by
को
the mercy
टिकट
of
बनाने के
devotee,
लिए विवश कर दिया।
he
इसने जितने
literally
प्रश्न
forced
पूछे,
him
सारे प्रश्नों
to
का
go
उत्तर
to
दे
Mayapur.
दिया,
He answered all his
और
queries,
मजबूर कर दिया कि बस
and he
मायापुर जाना ही
literally
पड़ेगा,
forced him
और
to
पहुंचा
go to
दिया।
Mayapur, and
बस
he took him
यही
to Mayapur.
भूमिका है श्री
That
अद्वैत
is
आचार्य की।
the role of Sri
श्री
Advait
अद्वैत
Acharya.
आचार्य की यही भूमिका है कि भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने सोच लिया था कि
Lord
मैं
had this
कलयुग में
desire that
राधा
in
बावली
Kali
और
Yuga,
चैतन्य महाप्रभु
I
का
will
रूप
come
में
in the mood
जाऊंगा।
of Radha Rani as
कृष्ण ने
Chaitanya
भी सोच लिया
Mahaprabhu.
था मैं जीवों
He
का
had
उद्धार
also
करूंगा,
contemplated that
कृष्ण प्रेम
I
का
will
दान
do the
करूंगा,
welfare of
मैं भक्त
humanity
बनकर, ये सब
or
कुछ सोचा
mankind,
था, लेकिन योग नहीं बन रहा था।
but the
तो जैसे इस
circumstances
वैष्णव
were
ने
not materializing.
अपनी सारी शक्ति,
So,
सामर्थ्य और कृपा करके
as
उस भक्त
this
को वृंदावन
devotee,
मायापुर
by
पहुंचा
all
दिया,
his
उसी श्री
potency,
अद्वैत आचार्य ने
forced
भगवान श्री कृष्ण
the
को इस धरती
person
पर
to go
आने
to
के लिए
Mayapur.
मजबूर कर दिया।
Similarly, Sri Advait Acharya
अद्वैत आचार्य और कोई नहीं,
put
स्वयं
all
भगवान
his
को इस धरती पर आने
potency
के लिए
and
मजबूर
forced
करने
him
वाला
to come
तत्व श्री अद्वैत
to
आचार्य
this
है।
material universe. So he is that
अद्वैत
element.
आचार्य एक ऐसे पात्र हैं जो
He
भगवान में
is
आने से
such a
पहले प्रकट
character
हो गए।
that who
किसी
manifested
को
even
प्राइम
before
मिनिस्टर
the
किसी
Lord
मार्ग से निकलना होता है,
arrived.
किसी स्थान
So
पर
as
चलना
a
होता है,
prime minister
तो उसको
has
आने
to
से पहले
come,
तैयारी
so
होती है।
before that there is so much
वहां पर
arrangements
दुकानें
that
बंद
are
कर
done.
देती जाती हैं,
They
सिक्योरिटी
shut all
होती है,
the
और भूमिका बनाई जाती है
shops and
श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु को
there is
प्रकट
security
करने के
everywhere.
लिए।
So to
जो
manifest Chaitanya
भूमिका जिन्होंने
Mahaprabhu,
की है,
the
वो है श्री अद्वैत
foundation
आचार्य।
was put by Sri Advait
महाप्रभु
Acharya.
की लीला में
In
सबसे ज्यादा
Mahaprabhu's
समय
pastimes,
महाप्रभु
the
के साथ
majority
और
of
वैष्णवों के
time,
साथ यदि किसी ने बिताया हो,
if
तो वो
someone
ऑर्डिनरी
spent with
अद्वैत आचार्य है।
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
अब विचार
and
करो,
his associates
महाप्रभु का जब
is
जन्म
Advait
हुआ,
Acharya.
तब
Just
अद्वैत आचार्य
imagine when
50 वर्ष के थे।
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born,
इनके
Advait
बुढ़ापे
Acharya
में
was
महाप्रभु का
50
प्राकट्य हुआ।
year old.
तो महाप्रभु प्रकट हो उसके
He
पहले
manifested
50
in
वर्ष
his
की
old
उम्र थी,
age.
और फिर महाप्रभु का प्राकट्य हुआ, और
And after he
48 साल तक
manifested,
श्री
until
चैतन्य
48
महाप्रभु
years,
क्या किए?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
इतने
performed
बड़े
his
उनके साथ
pastimes,
रहे,
and
श्री
Advaita
चैतन्य
Acharya was
महाप्रभु
with
लीला
him.
करके चले गए, उसके बाद
He
16
left,
वर्ष तक अद्वैत
Chaitanya
आचार्य रहे।
Mahaprabhu left the world,
आप
but
हिसाब करो,
still
50 साल,
Advaita
फिर
Acharya
48, फिर 16,
stayed for
100 साल से
another
पहले
16 years. So he
शायद
lived for
इतनी
more than 100
इस
years
धराधाम पर रहे, और परम सुंदर
in this
लीलाएं
material
श्री
universe,
कृष्ण की है, और इसीलिए तो
and
कहा
he
गया ना,
concluded beautiful pastimes of the Lord.
अद्वैत
And that is why it is said,
अद्वैत आचार्य बल गदाधर मोर कुल नरहरि विलास ही मोर नरहरि विलास ही मोर। अद्वैत आचार्य बल है। श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर अद्वैत आचार्य के विषय में कहते हैं कि अद्वैत आचार्य कौन? बोले अद्वैत आचार्य बल।
So it is said that Advait Acharya is the strength or potency. So today we are going to listen that how much potent he was and how great he was. He stayed in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, this world was shivering. All the devotees were distressed, and for 16 years he took care of all these distressed devotees for 16 more years. And we are going to listen to his glories. So let's do some Sankirtan and then we will start the session.
रमण जय जय नवल किशोर जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय जय माखन चोर जय जय माखन चोर। श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की श्री पंचतत्व की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। उपस्थित
Hare Krishna. I welcome all the loving devotees of Shrimad Bhagavatam, all the attendees and devotees. I especially want to heartfully welcome the senior devotees of International Society of Krishna Consciousness, Iskcon, who have decorated this assembly. I also extend my warm welcome to all of you who have gathered through the medium of Facebook, YouTube, etc., all the listeners, and with loving heart and devotion, the organizers of this Shrimad Bhagavatam, the whole Vadukul family, Shri Bharat Bhai, Nayan Manjuri Mataji, Vidur Prabhu, Vidurani Mataji, Kirit Bhai, and Renuka Mataji, and their all the kids in the family. I welcome you all on the 5th day of this Bhagvatam Katha, and please accept our humble obeisances at your lotus feet.
क्या बोलना है? राधे श्याम।
Radhe Shyam.
श्रीमद् भागवत पंचतत्व।
We are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam Panchatatva. Under the Panchatatva or 5 elements, the third element or tattva is Sri Advait Acharya, and we are going to listen about his pastimes and glories today. So the pastime is thus that once upon a time in Kailash, Lord Shiva was distressed and unhappy. And when Parvati ji, his wife, saw him distressed, she asked, "What is the reason of your distress and pain?" Shivji replied, he said that this Kali Yuga has just started, and in the beginning, the situation is adverse. So, what situation should be of Kali Yuga during its end? It is happening in the beginning of the Kali Yuga. The demonic are victorious. The non-Vedic people are ruling and destroying the Vedic culture. So she asked, "Now what are you going to do?" He replied, "I'm going to meditate on the milk ocean." It is mentioned that Shivji started performing his austerity or trance on the milk ocean, and for 700 years he performed great austerity. At that time, Lord didn't manifest it, but there was an oracle. Lord Krishna himself said, if the situation is so dire in the beginning of Kali Yuga, so we need to rectify or measure it. So you do one thing, that you both, that is Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, take birth as Advait Acharya in Bengal. So if Shivji asked that why so, when the Lord replied, the incarnation that I'm going to take and the pastimes will be quite different. Even I am going to be in dual forms. So even I will be coming with as Krishna with the mood of Srimati Radharani. So you also manifest with Lord Vishnu, and thus this Shiv and Mahavishnu, he manifested as the son of Kuber and Labha Devi son. And why so? It is mentioned in the Vedic scriptures or Puranas that quite some time before there was a beautiful girl and she performed great austerity to satisfy Lord Shiva. And when Shivji was satisfied, he told her to ask for a boon. So that girl said, "I want a son like you." Shivji agreed. And in the next verse, she became Labha Devi, and Shivji manifested as her son. So in Loud village, Kuber Acharya and Labha Devi's son, in the month of Magha, on the 7th day of the lunar calendar, in 1491, he manifested as Advait Acharya. And when he was born, His
क्या नाम था?
childhood name was Kamlaksh.
कमलाक्ष। ये अद्वैत आचार्य नाम माधवेंद्रपुरी
So
ने दिया था।
this Advait Acharya name was given by Madhvendra Puri, who was his spiritual master.
बचपन से ही, क्योंकि ये
But since
कोई
childhood, his name
साधारण तो
was
थे नहीं।
Kamlaksh. And since
भगवान
he
विष्णु
was not
और
ordinary,
सदाशिव के अंश से
because
जिनका
he
जन्म
is
हुआ था,
the combined form of
तो
Mahavishnu
बचपन से ही
and
वे
Lord
अनेक
Shiva.
प्रकार की लीला करने लगे।
So he started
एक दिन
performing so many
कमलाक्ष
pastimes even in his
अपने
childhood.
राज्य के राजा
One
के
day,
पुत्र राजकुमार के
he
साथ
was playing with the
विचरण
prince
करने गए
of the kingdom.
और विचरण करते करते काली माता
They
के
were
मंदिर
roaming
में
and they
पहुंचे।
went to the temple of Kali
इतिहास में
Mata,
ऐसा वर्णन है
and it is mentioned
कि उस
in our
राजकुमार
Vedic
की वहां पर
history
मृत्यु हो गई।
that this prince died there,
और ये तो स्वयं विष्णु सदाशिव है।
and he himself is Vishnu
इन्होंने
and
अपना
Shiva.
चरणोदक जल लेकर उस राजकुमार
So
के
he
ऊपर
just
छिड़का।
poured
मरा हुआ
some
बालक जीवित हो गया।
water from his feet, and
एक
this
दिन
child
कमलाक्ष के पिता
regained
कुबेराचार्य
consciousness and became alive.
उसको काली माता के
So
मंदिर में ले
once
गए
his father took
और
him
वहां
to the
पर
temple of Kali Mata,
कुबेराचार्य ने प्रणाम किया,
and Kuber
लेकिन कमलाक्ष
Acharya
ने
bowed down,
प्रणाम नहीं किया।
but Kamlaksh didn't bow down.
प्रणाम नहीं करने के कारण
And the
स्वयं विष्णु
reason,
है,
he himself is
स्वयं
Vishnu,
शिव है,
he himself
तो
is
शिव
Lord
अपनी
Shiva.
पत्नी को कैसे प्रणाम
So
करें?
how can
बाजू में
Shiv
कर लेते हैं, लेकिन सबके सामने थोड़ी करेंगे।
bow down at the feet of his
तो
wife?
भगवान विष्णु
So Lord Vishnu
काली देवी को कैसे प्रणाम करेंगे? तो तत्व के
cannot bow
अनुसार वो
down.
प्रणाम नहीं कर रहे थे।
So because of that
कुबेराचार्य ने
reason,
जब
he was not
देखा
bowing down. His father was
तो
persistent
उन्होंने
that you
अपने
should bow
पिता को
down.
कहा
So he said,
कि
he
यथा
told his
कमलदल
father,
निषेच नैन तृप्यन्ति तत्स्कंद भुजोपशाखा। हे पिताजी,
oh
जब
my
पेड़
dear
के जड़
father,
में पानी डालते हैं तो पेड़ की डाली, पत्ते, फल,
if
फूल
we
समय पर
root
पहुंच जाता है।
if we water the root, then
संसार में
automatically the
सभी
water
जीवों के
reaches
मूल
everywhere.
मूल भगवान
So
कृष्ण
the
है।
root
कृष्ण
of
का भजन करो
everyone
तो सबका
is
भजन,
Lord
सबका
Krishna.
प्रणाम, सबकी
And
पूजा
if
अपने आप
we
हो जाती है।
venerate him, then automatically all the
अलग
demigods
से किसी की
and
पूजा
others
पाठ
are
करने
also
की जरूरत नहीं।
satisfied. So we need not to venerate everyone
कुबेराचार्य ने कहा कि
separately.
तेरा कुछ मुझे
Kuber
समझ में नहीं आ रहा,
Acharya
तू
said that
प्रणाम
I'm
कर।
unable to
अब इन्होंने
understand you,
प्रयास किया
but you
तो
bow down.
पिताजी का
So
इतना
he
ये,
tried, but
जैसे ही
his
उस
father was
कमलाक्ष ने, वो
adamant and
अद्वैत आचार्य
persistent.
ने
And
काली
as
माता को
he
प्रणाम
bowed
किया,
down
वो मूर्ति फट गई।
at the feet of
काली
Kali
माता
Mata,
सहन नहीं कर पाई कि
the
मेरा पति मुझको प्रणाम
idol
करे,
of Kali
मेरा
Mata
ईश्वर
bursted,
विष्णु मुझे
exploded,
प्रणाम करे।
and he couldn't,
थे छोटे बालक,
the
लेकिन
Kali
प्रणाम
Mother
करने
couldn't
गए तो मूर्ति फट गई।
tolerate that
बहुत
her
बड़ा
husband
हंगामा हुआ
and Lord Vishnu
और
bowing
फिर
down
कैसे
at her
तैसे
feet.
सबको समझ में आया।
So somehow people
इस प्रकार
understood.
से जब और थोड़े बड़े हुए, अद्वैत
So when
आचार्य,
he was
जिनका नाम
little,
अभी भी कमलाक्ष, कमलाक्ष का अर्थ होता है कमल जैसी जिनकी आंख
so
है,
when he became little
उसे
older,
कमलाक्ष कहते हैं।
then this Kamlakshu's
तो
name
थोड़े
did,
से बड़े हुए,
signifies a person whose
गुरुकुल
eyes
में गए
are
वो।
like lotus. So
अद्वैत
he was
आचार्य
sent
गुरुकुल
to
में
the
जाकर
Gurukul,
षड दर्शन,
that is
दर्शन
the
जानते हैं ना,
Vedic school,
फिलोसॉफिकल ग्रंथ, वे षड दर्शन पढ़ने लगे।
and he started reading Shaddarshan, that is
वे
a
गुरुकुल में गए कि
philosophical
गुरुजी पिकनिक
scripture
पे
of
लेके
Vedic
गए।
times. And then
बच्चों पिकनिक
his
में जाते हैं,
spiritual master took all the kids for
तो उस समय
picnic,
पिकनिक तो क्या होता था, गंगा के तट पर
so
सारे
that
बच्चे विचरण
he
करने
took
गए
him on the banks of Ganga Maya,
और वहां पर
and they
गुरुजी
were
ने
all
देखा
roaming
कि
there.
उस
And
सरोवर में बहुत सुंदर सुंदर
spiritual master
कमल
says,
खिले हैं,
saw that they are beautiful, beautiful
और यदि ये
lotuses,
कमल हमको मिल जाए तो
and
भगवान के
if we
चरणों में
get
चढ़ाऊं,
these
कुछ भगवान की सेवा
lotus, then
करूं।
we will be able to offer these
जिन
to the
सरोवर की
Lord,
गहराई
and
में
we will
बहुत
be able to
मीठे
serve.
कमल थे, कौन लेने
So
के
the
लिए जाए।
lotuses were actually in
गुरु
the
के
deep
मन
lake.
की इच्छा को
So
समझकर
by just
कमलाक्ष
understanding the desire
उस सरोवर में
of
उतरे
his spiritual
और
master,
कमल के
he
पत्र के ऊपर
went
चलते हुए
he went
बीच सरोवर में
to
चले गए,
the lotus,
कमल के ऊपर
to
चले
the mid in the midst of of
और
the
उस
lake,
सरोवर में
walking
जाकर
on
जितने
the
फूल,
leaves of lotus,
फल, फूल, पुष्प चाहिए था,
and
सारे
he
पुष्प
took
लेकर
lotus
गुरुजी के पास
flowers
आए और गुरुजी
and came back to
भगवान की
Guru
सेवा कर।
and gave to
गुरुजी ने
him
कहा, कमलाक्ष मुझे
to serve. So the spiritual master said that, how could you walk on the lotus leaf? How did you attain this accomplishment and perfection? So Kamlaksh replied, I worship Lord Shri Krishna,
और भक्ति त्वयि स्थिर तरा भगवंत यदि स्यात्, यदि हम भगवान श्री कृष्ण
and
की स्थिर
if we
भक्ति
are
निरंतर
constantly
शुद्ध भक्ति करते हैं,
engaged in unalloyed devotional
यदि
service
प्रेम
towards the
भजन
Lord,
नित्य किशोर
then
रति, मुक्ति तिलांजलि सेवते समान, मुक्ति और सिद्धि
the
हमारे
liberation
चरणों में
and
प्राप्त हो जाती है।
accomplishment
भजन करने वालों के लिए
fell at our lotus
सिद्धि
feet,
हासिल करना कोई
at
बहुत
our
बड़ी
feet.
चीज नहीं है।
So for a devotee, it's not difficult to attain
जब अमेरिका से
any
भारत वापस आते
perfection.
तो भारतवासियों
So
ने
when
कहा
Srila Prabhupada
कि
returned
स्वामी
to
जी,
India
अन्य
from
बहू
US,
बाबा
so people
साधु
said that
संत महाराज तो
other
चमत्कार करते हैं, आपका
Sadhi,
कोई चमत्कार
Sadhu
है?
Maharaja, and
आप
everybody
अपने
does
चमत्कार
some
टोना टुटका जादू
magic.
टोना करते हैं। श्री
So do
प्रभुपाद
you
जी
have all?
50
Can you
अमेरिकन
also perform any magic?
शिष्यों को लेकर
So,
भारत में गए थे
so he was there
और ये
with his
50 घोड़े
50
हरि
American
नाम में
disciples.
नाच रहे हैं।
So
ये
he's,
व्हाइट एलिफेंट
Srila
जो मेरे
Prabhupada
साथ
said that
नाच कूद रहे
these
हैं,
white
इससे बड़ा
elephants
चमत्कार और
were
क्या
with
हो
me
सकता है?
are dancing at the tunes of
सबसे बड़ा
Sankirtan of
चमत्कार ये
and
कभी
Harinam.
किसी के बाप
Then
के नहीं होते।
what can be
थोड़े
more
बहुत
magical
ऐसे
than that?
होते हैं कि अपने माँ बाप को छोड़कर चले जाते हैं,
They even leave
रात
their
दिन नशा
parents when
करते
they
हैं,
get up. They're
अनेक
so much
प्रकार के
engaged
धंधों
in
में फंसे हुए हैं,
intoxication. They're so
लेकिन
much
आज
materially
सब छोड़
entrapped.
छाड़ कर हाथ
But
में माला
today they
और
have left
भजन पर हरि
everything
नाम गाते हैं,
and they
इससे बड़ा
constantly chant the
चमत्कार
glories
क्या हो
of the Lord.
सकता है?
What could be more magical than that?
जो भजन करता है उसके
So
लिए
a
सिद्धि
person who
कोई बहुत बड़ी चीज नहीं होती। बचपन में
performs
ही
pure
एक
loving
बार
devotional service towards the Lord,
श्री
then
कमलाक्ष
for him no
अद्वैताचार्य ने
perfection
ये
is
प्रस्तुत
far
किया।
away. That is what he
अद्वैताचार्य
presented
गुरु की
by this
सिद्धि
pastime.
ग्रहण किए, बड़े
So he
ज्ञानी हो गए,
got the
शास्त्रों
education
के ज्ञानी
from
हो गए।
the Gurukul, that is the Vedic school,
एक बार
and he
एक
became
बहुत बड़ा विद्वान
wise
जिसका नाम था
in the scriptures.
श्यामदास,
And once a
और
intellectual whose name
उसका
was
काम
Shyam
था
Das,
तर्क करना। अब जानते
whose
हैं
main job
हमारे
was
शास्त्रों को
to
समझने की बहुत सारी विधि है।
discuss
अभी आप जो
the
शास्त्र
Vedic
समझ रहे
scriptures
हैं
and injunctions.
ये
So there
प्रवचन के
is a
द्वारा, खैर हम तो
there are
प्रवचन भी नहीं
different
करते, संवाद करते हैं,
processes of
लेकिन आजकल मैं आप लोगों का चांस नहीं आने दे रहा हूँ, ये
getting
बात अलग
the
है
scriptures.
क्योंकि कथा में ही ज्यादा टाइम हो जाता है।
The first type
लेकिन
is, there's so many
हमारा
different
संवाद
types
है,
of
ज्ञान जो है ना
getting the
संवाद के
script
माध्यम से
knowledge of
प्राप्त किया
scripture.
जा
So
सकता
first
है,
is pravachan, like
प्रवचन के
we
माध्यम से,
one is
सत्र के
speaking, other
माध्यम
is
से,
listening,
और एक ज्ञान प्राप्त करने
or
की
this
विधि है
second is
तर्क।
discussion, and the third is
तर्क के द्वारा ज्ञान
tark,
प्राप्त।
that is
एक बार
by
एक
discussing or
एक दंपति
contradicting
थे,
each
बेचारे
other.
बहुत गरीब
So
थे, गांव में रहते
once
थे,
there was a
सोचा हम
couple
तो पढ़े
who
लिखे
were
नहीं,
really
लेकिन हमारे
poor,
बच्चे को हम पढ़ाएंगे।
and
बच्चा बड़ा
they were
हुआ,
poor, so they thought that we are not
घर के
educated,
बाटा
but
बांधी,
at least we want our
पोते
children to
भूखे
be
थे,
educated.
અને बाप
They
पुत्र
went
पुत्र को
empty
काशी
stomach so
पढ़ने
many times,
भेजा।
but they sent their children to Kashi
10
for
साल
education.
काशी में पढ़कर बहुत बड़ा
After
प्रकांड
10
विद्वान
years,
पंडित होकर गांव में वापस लौटे,
the child
तो माँ
returned
बड़ी
with
प्रसन्न थी कि मेरा
intellect.
बेटा हैं,
After becoming an intellectual, the
काशी
mother
गया।
was
उस
so
समय तो
proud
काशी विदेश
and very
माना
happy
जाता
that
था,
Kashi
मेरा
was
बेटा पढ़
considered
लिख कर आया है।
the
तो माँ ने
heart,
क्या किया, अपने बेटे के लिए 2
and
लड्डू बनाए।
the mother was very
माँ 2
happy, so
लड्डू
she
बना,
prepared
चूरमा के लड्डू बनाए और बेटे को
2
दिए, बेटे तू
laddus
जब
for
छोटा
her
था ना
son.
तो तुझे ये
So
बहुत
she said
पसंद
that
थे, तू
when
चुपके
you were
चुपके
small,
खाता था, मैंने तेरे
you
लिए ये 2
used to
लड्डू
love
बनाए,
them.
बड़े
So I
भाव
have
में
made
बनाए।
these two. The mother was
उस
filled with so
लड़के
much
को
love and
बनाए दिए।
emotion, and she requested
अब ये
her
तो
son.
ज्ञानी बनकर आया था,
But this
ये कहता
son
है
has
कि
became
माँ
an intellectual. So
ये
he
कितने
replied,
लड्डू
"Oh
हैं?
mother, how many
बोले 2।
laddus are these?" She
तो ये
said,
कहता है
2.
ये 2 नहीं, ये 3 लड्डू है।
He said, "These are not 2, these are
मैंने
3."
कहा मुझे मोतियाबिंद भी नहीं आया, आंख भी बराबर है,
Mothers
ये तो
thought
तुम
that
2 लड्डू
my
कैसे दिखाई
eyes,
दे रहे? नहीं,
my vision is good,
ये
so
3
but I
लड्डू है।
can't see these 3. But he was
माँ ने
persistent
कहा
that
कि
no,
भाई
these are
तू
3.
ज्ञानी है,
Mother said that, okay, you are knowledgeable, intellectual. If you think that these are three, then okay, these are three, just eat. But the father was reading newspaper. Father stood up and said, what were you saying? So he said that, I'm saying these are not two, but these are three. And his father said that, how? He said that, okay, this is one laddu, this is the second. So this is the second one. And 1 and 2 is equivalent to 3. So he gives such an argument that he proved that these are 3. Because 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So the father was amazed. So he said that that one laddu should eaten by your mother. He took the third. He took the other one and he said that you can eat the third one. So the person who argues doesn't get the laddu. He just gets the argument. There are quite few people who are argumentative in this world. But we should remember that a devotee should never engage himself in argument because there is no end to any argument. So let's come back to Shyamdas. So this Shyamdas, who was a Brahmin, expert in argument, gaining knowledge. And he had performed austerity at the feet of Shiva, and he had this benediction that he will always be victorious. And he had defeated so many intellectuals and wise throughout the world. And then he came and he came to Kamlaksh, and he was requested to argue with him, but he said that no. But he said no, you should. So, and he was finally defeated by Kamlaksh. And while he slept, he was defeated. So he, in his dream, he asked Lord Shiva that your benediction has failed. So he said that I told you that you will be victorious in front of everybody else, but you won't be able to be victorious in front of me. You have today argued with me. So that is why you defeated. So Kamlaksh was studying the Vedic scriptures and injections. So once he was reading the 13th chapter's 13th verse from Bhagvat Gita, and he had this doubt. And Lord Shri Krishna himself manifested and removed his confusion. If you read with full focus and concentration and pure heart, then the Lord himself gives the intellect to understand the Vedic scriptures. Gradually he became adult, and once he was still Kamlaksh. So while traveling, he went to Udupi, which is in the south part of the Bharatvarsha, where Udupi Krishna resides. He is the Krishna who manifested in Dwarika, but today he resides in Udupi. And there he met Madhvendra Puri. And Madhvendra Puri, in our disciplic succession, he is the seed of the loving devotional service towards the Lord, that is Bhakti Lata Bij.
और माधवेंद्र पुरी ने बहुत सुंदर अद्वैत आचार्य को कमलाक्ष
And
को कहा
Madhvendra
कि
Puri
साक्षात भगवान
told
श्री कृष्ण
Kamlaksh
इस धरती
that
पर प्रकट होने वाले हैं
Lord Krishna
वे
himself is
कल्याण
going to
रूप में
manifest,
अवतरित होंगे
and he will manifest as
तुम उस अवतार की राह देखो
fair skin,
तुम्हें उस
and you
महान
should wait for
महापुरुष के
him.
साथ लीला करने का
And
सौभाग्य मिलेगा
you are fortunate to perform pastimes with him.
आचार्य ने माधवेंद्र पुरी से दीक्षा ली
Advaita
शिष्य
Acharya
का चयन
took
किया
the initiation from Madhvendra Puri,
और
made
माधवेंद्र
him
पुरी
his
ने कहा था कि भगवान का
spiritual
अवतार
master.
बंगाल में होगा
And as Madhvendra Puri told that the Lord will manifest in Bengal, Mayapur,
कीर्तन करते करते
so Advaita
मायापुर से
Acharya
दूर एक गांव है शांतिपुर
went and stayed near Mayapur in a village called
धीरे धीरे
Shantipur.
धीरे समय बीतने लगा
Gradually, the time
और
started
भगवत गीता
elapsing,
आचार्य
and
जब
Advaita
50 साल के
Acharya
हुए
became
परिस्थिति
50. The situation
अद्वैत
became
आचार्य ने
more
अपनी
worse.
आंखों से
He saw with
को
his own
बर्बादी होते
eyes
हुए देखा
the destruction of this
आज
material
से
world.
35 वर्ष पूर्व आप कल्पना कीजिए
Just 535 years before,
1542
that is in the year
हमारे भारत भूमि पर भयंकर स्थिति निर्माण हुई हमारे देश पर
1452.
हिंदुओं ने आक्रमण किया
So the situation was so adverse that we were being attacked by Mongols, Muslims, Turks. So many people came to our country and started looting us. We have always welcomed
भारत में आए भारत ने सबका स्वागत किया
guests
क्योंकि हमारा
as
देश अतिथि को
our,
भगवान मानता है लेकिन जिनका स्वागत किया
but the
उन्होंने
people we
भारत की
welcomed,
श्रद्धा का गलत
they
इस्तेमाल किया
misused our faith
लूटा भारत को
and respect, and they
हमारे बच्चों को मैं भी उसमें से एक हूँ
took
भारत का वास्तविक
us for
इतिहास
granted and
पढ़ाया
looted.
नहीं जाता
And our kids are
उन्हें
not
वहाँ
even
कहा जाता
taught
है
our
औरंगजेब
actual
महान था
history. The kids are being taught that Aurangzeb was a great
हुसैन शाह
ruler,
महान था बाबर
Hussein
महान
Shah
था
was
इसी को
great,
पढ़ाया
Babar
जाता है
was great. That is what they are taught.
लेकिन इन लोगों ने हमारे देश की सनातन
But these
संस्कृति
people
को
have
तोड़ दिया
destroyed
हमारे देश के अनेक
our
मंदिर
Vedic
तोड़े
culture. They destroyed so many temples.
हमारे वेदों को जलाकर राख कर दिया
They disrespected our holy places.
लोगों ने
They
भारत की
burned
सनातन
our
धर्म की
scriptures.
संस्कृति को नष्ट किया और जो थोड़ी बहुत
They
सनातन धर्म
destroyed
बचा
our
था वो
Sanatan
सनातन
Dharma,
धर्मी आपस
and
में
whatever was left,
लड़ाई झगड़ा करके धर्म को नष्ट कर दिया
they were other who were
थोड़े
fighting
बहुत
amongst
लोग वेद
themselves and
शास्त्र को
destroying
जानते थे
whatever was left of the
परंतु वेद
Vedic
शास्त्र के
scriptures.
नाम पर
So there were some
नर
who
बलि पशुओं की बलि जीव हिंसा
followed the
मांसाहार
Vedic
इसका
injunctions
उनका
but
कुछ नहीं था
were performing animal sacrifices and killing
श्री
the
अद्वैत
animals.
आचार्य ऐसा कहते हैं
So Sri Advaita Acharya, it
कि
is
हरिदास
mentioned,
ठाकुर के साथ 40
along with
वर्ष
Haridas
तक
Thakur till 40
40 वर्ष
years,
बहुत लंबा होता है शालिग्राम शिला की पूजा किए
were
और
venerated
अद्वैत
the
आचार्य कहते
Shaligram
हैं
Shila, and he used to
तुलसी दल
say,
मात्रेण जलस्य चुलुकेन च
and he used to
विक्रियते
recite this
पावनं
verse.
भक्तेभ्यो भक्तवत्सलः विष्णु धर्मोत्तर का ये श्लोक है
This is the verse from
बोले
Vishnuttar,
प्रभु आप तो
and he
तुलसी पत्र
says that
मात्र से प्रसन्न हो
you
जाते हो
satisfied by just a
शालिग्राम
tulsi
शिला पर
leaf.
थोड़ा सा तुलसी पत्र चढ़ा दो
If you just
थोड़ा सा
offer
जल
a
चढ़ा
tulsi
दो
leaf and little
उससे
water,
भगवान बीक
the
जाते
Lord
हैं अपने भक्तों के हाथों बीक जाते
is
हैं
get
ऐसे भक्त
he
वत्सल
gets
भगवान
ready to sell
कहते
himself for
प्रभु
his
मैं
devotee.
40
But
साल से
such
आपकी सेवा पूजा कर
loving
रहा हूँ
Lord,
आप
he
तो
says
मुझे
that
प्रसन्न नहीं हो रहे हैं
I have been venerating you
प्रभु
since
हमारे
last
पास
40 years,
केवल दो
but still
ऑप्शन
you're
हैं
not manifesting.
या
So
तो
now you
बदल
have
तो
just two
जाइए
options.
या
Either
तो
you
अपना नाम
manifest
बदल दीजिए
or you should
आप
change your
दीन
name.
बंधु पतित पावन
You are the most
यदि आप पतित
merciful
पावन हो
and
तो जगत में इससे बड़े पतित आपको
the
कहाँ मिलेंगे
well-wisher of
आपको अपना नाम
all
सार्थक करने का समय आ
the
चुका है
grave
प्रभु आप बोले
sinners. So this
और
is the
स्थिति को
time
सुधारिए
when you should
इस
act
प्रकार से
according to your name and take care of this situation. So in this manner, he used to call the Lord, and whatever Tulsi ji he used to offer to Shaligram ji, that Tulsi he used to offer it to Ganga ji, and he used to offer thousands of Tulsi leaves to Ganga Maya. And one day it so happened he offered 1,000 Tulsi leaves to Shaligram ji, and when he offered it to the Ganga ji, then that Tulsi ji started flowing in the opposite direction of Ganga ji. So the leaves usually follow the flow of the river, but there's something different was happening. So Advait Acharya understood that there is something different. So he jumped in the Ganga ji and followed the Tulsi leaves. And from Shantipur, they and Haridas Thakur ji is walking on the side, and he's saying that, where are you going? You might drown. But Advaita Acharya was following the Tulsi leaves, and from Shantipur, he swam till 150 kilometers to Navdvip Mayapur. And in Mayapur, on the banks of Navdvip, the wife of Jagat Mishra Shachi Mata was taking a holiday, and she was pregnant, and these tulsi leaves were all gathered around her belly. Advait Acharya, following the leaves, also reached there, and when he saw that all the tulsi leaves are surrounded, are gathered around the tummy of Shachi Mata, so he started shouting that now the Lord has manifested, and he bowed down at the lotus feet of Shachi Mata. She said that you should not venerate me. You are like my father. I am like your daughter. Advaita Acharya started crying vehemently. He circumvallated Shachi Mata with tears in his eyes, and with folded hands he says, how should I serve you? So Shachi Mata says that I'm going to give birth to a son, and you are like a spiritual master, so please give me initiation. So Gadadhar Pandit said that Gadadhar Acharya said that you are going to give birth to the mother of the Lord himself. What shall I teach you? But he gave her a Gopal mantra. And then Haridas Thakur and Advait Acharya shifted to Navdvip Mayapur. So time elapsed, and 9 months, and then 10, 11, like this, 12 months passed, and both Shachimata and Jagat Mishra both were worried, and Shachimata's father Nilambar Mishra was a great astrologer, and he called her, and he said that who is this child? Is he healthy or not? And when is she going to give birth? Then Nilambar Chakravarti, her father, saw her hand and read his forehead. He told his daughter, when you were born, people used to say, you have begot a daughter, you don't have a son. But today, oh my daughter, I am obliged that you are my daughter, because your home will become Nand Bhavan, this place will become Vrindavan. Shyam Sundar himself will manifest as your son. Don't worry, next month you're going to give birth to this son. On the 13th month, in the Falgun Purnima, that is on the day of Holi, the whole world was playing with color, but Navdip Mayapur were playing with the Harinam or the chanting of the holy names. So, on these days, at 7 o'clock evening, the Lord of the whole universe, with the mood of Srimati Radharani, manifested as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Mukunda Madhava गोविंद बोल। अद्वैत आचार्य नाचने लगे। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। नाम हरि का प्राण न प्यारा, भक्त जनों का परम सहारा। नाम लिए कछु लगे न मोल, नाम लिए कछु लगे न मोल। केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि 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 हरि। हरि नाम की ध्वनि छा गई, चर अचर समस्त जीव हरि बोल की ध्वनि करने लगे।
So everybody was speaking or chanting the holy names as Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
सब जनय अधिकारी, हरि नाम के सब जनय अधिकारी। बालक वृद्ध युवा नर नारी, बालक वृद्ध युवा नर नारी। नाम लिए कछु लगे न मोल, नाम लिए कछु लगे न मोल। केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। भाव से मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की, श्री निमाई पंडित की, श्री अद्वैत आचार्य की। इस प्रकार श्री
In this manner, Sri Advait Acharya forced the Lord to manifest on this earth. Although the Lord had this desire, but Sri Advait Acharya what the Lord to this earth. As a person had this desire to go to Mayapur, but the circumstances were not materializing. But by Advaita Acharya's persistence, this could happen. So Lalita Sakhis incarnation. So now you have heard the pastime. So now we are going to discuss the element. So the incarnation of Lalita Sakhi, Sri Swarup Goswami writes about Advaita Acharya that Mahavishnu Jagat Karta, that is the creator is who? Mahavishnu. So that means is the Karanodakshai Vishnu, who is called Mahavishnu as well. Who through his external potency, that is Mahamaya, he creates this material universe. And that Mahavishnu's incarnation is Sri Advaita Acharya. And therefore, he is none other than the Lord himself, or the incarnation of the Lord himself. So there is a verse which I heard from Guru Maharaj, which I liked a lot. It can be considered as Pranam Mantra or introduction mantra as well. So it is said that he is called Advait. So there are so many Vads, Advaitvad, Nirakarvad and Mayavad, etc. But why is Advaita Acharya called Advait? This is so beautiful rhyming here. Why is he called Advaita? Because, so let's split this word to understand it further. Why is he called Advaitam? Harina, Hari, by Hari, Advait, that is non-different. So he is non-different from Lord Hari. That is why he is called Advaita. Dvait means two, and Advait means single, that is not two. So he is non-different from Lord Hari. They are one. That is why he is referred to as Advait. So who is not different from Lord Hari, and he is called Advait.
Advaitam Harinadvaita Acharyam Bhakti Sanshanath. और इसको आचार्य क्यों कहते हैं?
And why is he referred to as Acharya? Because he preaches about the anala devotional service towards the Lord, that is Bhakti. He gives Krishna Bhakti to others, he teaches others, and that is why he is called Acharya. So he is Advait because he is not different from Lord Hari, and Acharya because he gives anala devotional service toward the Lord to others.
Bhaktavataram Isham Bhakt Avatar. ये कौन से तत्व है? वो पंच.
So what element is he in of the five elements? So he is Bhakt Avatar.
अवतार तत्व जो है ना वो अद्वैत आचार्य है. तो दूसरी लाइन में
So
कहते
he
हैं
is the incarnation of
भक्त अवतार
devotee.
ईश्वर का
The
एक
Lord
अवतार है. तम
is
अद्वैतम
incarnation,
आश्रये. ऐसे अद्वैत आचार्य की
and
मैं शरण ग्रहण
we
करता
should take
हूँ.
shelter of such Advait Acharya,
अद्वैत
or I
आचार्य को
take shelter
श्रीमद्
of such
कविराज
Advait
गोस्वामी
Acharya.
आगे कहते हैं.
Sri Kaviraj Goswami writes
अद्वैत आचार्य का परिचय देते हुए
regarding
बताते
him,
हैं
he
कि
introduces
जीव
him thus.
निस्तारिल कृष्ण भक्ति करी दान. जीवों का उद्धार करने के लिए
For
अद्वैत
the
आचार्य
welfare of the living entities,
कृष्ण भक्ति का
Advait
दान करते हैं.
Acharya
अब यहाँ
gives
से इतना तो
another
समझ में
devotional
आता ही है
service to others,
कि जब तक
and by this we
जीवों को
understand that
कृष्ण भक्ति नहीं
till the
दोगे
time
तब
we
तक
give
जीव का उद्धार नहीं होगा.
loving devotional service
किसी
towards the
को
Lord
थोड़ा
to
बहुत
others,
धन दे दिया,
we
रुपया पैसा
won't
दे दिया, थोड़ा
get
मान
any
सम्मान
benefit.
इत्यादि दे दिया,
By just giving
इससे
charity
जीव का
in terms
उद्धार
of
नहीं होने वाला.
money, food,
जीव
clothes,
निस्तार
etc.,
जीव का
is
उद्धार
not
निस्तार
be beneficial for
एकमात्र
us.
कृष्ण भक्ति से ही होगा.
The only welfare
तो अद्वैत आचार्य
is
क्या
to
करते
give
थे?
the
कृष्ण
name
भक्ति
of the
देकर
Lord
जीव
to
का
others.
उद्धार करते थे. वो कृष्ण भक्ति कैसे देते थे?
And how he
तो
used
गीता
to
भागवत
give
कैल भक्तिर
Krishna
आख्यान
Bhakti to others?
भगवत
By
गीता और श्रीमद्
or
भागवत
through the
सुनने में
medium of Bhagvat
गीता
Gita
और
and
भागवत
Shrimad
का
Bhagvat.
व्याख्यान करके उस पर प्रवचन देकर
He used
गीता
to
भागवत की कथा
discuss
करके
about
श्री
Bhagavad
अद्वैत
Gita and
आचार्य भक्ति
Bhagavatam,
देते थे.
and by that
भक्ति
he
उपदेश
used to
बिनु तार
give
नहीं कार्य.
another devotional service towards the
भक्ति का
Lord
उपदेश देने
to
के
others.
बिना कोई कार्य नहीं करते थे.
And he never used to
ततएव
do anything else.
नाम तार हईल आचार्य.
That is why
और
he
इसलिए
is called
अद्वैत आचार्य
Acharya.
को इसे आचार्य नाम कहा गया. इसलिए इसे आचार्य कहा जाता है. वैष्णवेर गुरु तेहो जगतेर आर्य. अद्वैत आचार्य समस्त वैष्णवों के गुरु
Advait Acharya is the spiritual master of all the Acharyas,
दुई नाम मिलन हैल
and he
अद्वैत
is the
आचार्य.
ideal for this
कमल
society.
नयन रते हो जाते अंग अंश. ये कमल नयन भगवान श्री विष्णु का एक नाम है.
He
कमल नयन.
is
तो
so
कमल
Lord
नयन के
Vishnu's
अंश
one
होने
name
के
is
कारण
Kamal Nayan, and
इनका
he
नाम
is
कमलाक्ष
the
रखा गया है.
part and
कमलाक्ष
parcel of
करी धरे
Lord
नाम.
Vishnu. That is why he was renamed. He was called
तो
Kamlaksh.
इस प्रकार से श्री अद्वैत आचार्य का परिचय
So
कृष्णदास
thus
कविराज गोस्वामी देते हैं.
he is introduced by Krishnaraj
चैतन्य महाप्रभु का जब
Goswami.
जन्म हुआ ना,
Krishnaraj Kaviraj
तो श्री
Goswami.
चैतन्य महाप्रभु दूध नहीं पीते थे.
So
अब बच्चे को दूध तो पीना ही
Chaitanya
पड़ेगा.
Mahaprabhu
बिना दूध पिए कैसे चलेगा?
didn't
बच्चा कैसे स्वस्थ रहेगा, कैसे
like
पोषण
to
होगा?
drink milk,
तो
and
निमाई
for
छोटे से
the
निमाई छोटे से चैतन्य
nutrition
महाप्रभु
of a
दूध
child,
नहीं
it's
पीते.
necessary to drink milk.
अनेकों लोगों को बुलाया
And
गया,
so this Nimai
डॉक्टर वैद्य को
didn't
बुलाया गया,
used
बहुत
to
चेकअप
drink
कराया
milk,
गया, लेकिन
and
कोई
they tried to
इसका कोई
treat,
उत्तर ही नहीं मिला.
but there was no
क्या करें?
reply. So what should we do?
तब अद्वैत आचार्य को
Then
पता चला.
Advait Acharya
श्री अद्वैत आचार्य आए,
got this information, and he came
छोटे से चैतन्य महाप्रभु को अपने गोद में उठाए और
and he
साथ में
took
लेकर गए.
Chaitanya
अद्वैत आचार्य
Mahaprabhu
ने
in
कहा
his
कि भाई
hand and
दूध क्यों नहीं पी
said,
रहा है?
"Why you're not drinking the
तो
milk?"
छोटा सा निमाई चैतन्य महाप्रभु
So
ने
the
कहा,
small Nimai
मैं
or
तो
Chaitanya
इसलिए नहीं
Mahaprabhu
पी
said
रहा
that
हूँ क्योंकि
I
मेरी
don't want
माँ
to drink
दीक्षित
milk
नहीं है,
because my mother is not
मदर से
initiated,
दीक्षा नहीं ली है, उसके हाथों
and
का मैं कैसे खा
she's not
सकता हूँ,
initiated.
कैसे
How
पी
can
सकता
I
हूँ?
drink or eat
अद्वैत
from
आचार्य ने कहा
anybody's
तो
life?
क्या करूं? बोले
So
आप
he said
उसको
that what shall
दीक्षा
I
दे
do?
दीजिए.
So he said that you should
अद्वैत आचार्य
initiate
ने कहा
her.
मैंने हरिनाम दीक्षा तो दी थी. बोले
He said
हरिनाम
that
से
I
नहीं
gave
काम होगा,
Harinam
ब्राह्मण
initiation,
दीक्षा
but
दीजिए.
give
क्योंकि
her
भगवान की सेवा
the
हरिनाम दीक्षा
Brahman
वाले नहीं कर सकते, ब्राह्मण दीक्षा वाले
Diksha,
ही भगवान की सेवा कर सकते हैं.
because
महाप्रभु ने तो
only
अपनी लीला से छोटे छोटे
by
बहुत
double
सारे सिद्धांत
initiation
प्रस्तुत किए.
we can
इसीलिए
serve
हमारे
the
इस्कॉन में आप जानते
Lord.
हैं नियम है
So you might
कि
be aware
हरिनाम
that
में
in
ड्यूटी सेवा
Iskcon,
वही कर
for
सकते हैं जो
DT
ब्राह्मण
service,
दीक्षित है.
only the Brahman
चैतन्य
Dikshit
महाप्रभु तो स्वयं
can do
भगवान है.
that. And Chaitanya
बोले मेरी
Mahaprabhu
माँ
is
ब्राह्मण
Lord
दीक्षित
himself.
नहीं है,
He said that my mother is
तो
not
मैं
Brahman
कैसे
Dikshit.
ये कर सकता हूँ? अद्वैत आचार्य ने कहा ठीक है भाई.
So Advait Acharya
निमाई को रखा और शची
kept
माता को
Nimai
ब्राह्मण दीक्षा दिए.
and gave
और
her
फिर श्री
the Brahmanical initiation, and then he started drinking the milk of his mother. Advait Acharya's glories are revealed when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to perform congregational chanting in the home of Srivas Pandit. And all he was giving unalloyed devotional service to everyone except one thing, except one person, that is his mother, Shri Mata. Everybody is getting the love, but in my heart there is no feeling of love. So Srivas Pandit went with some courage and he said that you are distributing the love freely, but you haven't given it to your own mother. Everybody's heart is filled with love, but Shachi Mata's heart is devoid of that love. So when Srivas Pandit said thus, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Bhagvat form, and he said that Shachi Mata cannot get the love. Why? She will not get it. She will not get the love because she has offended against the devotee of the Lord. So Srivas Pandit said that, whom has she offended? He said that she has offended Advait Acharya, and a person who offends Advait Acharya, even if she is my mother, they will not get the love of the Lord. That is the position of Sri Advait Acharya. So when and how it happened, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's elder brother was Vishwarup, and he used to study Bhagvatam at Advait Acharya's home. And by just reading, Vishwarup got completely detached. As you all are detached, you listen by keeping yourself awake in the midnight. Bhagavatam results in detachment. So in his childhood, he became detached and he took celibacy. And Shachimata was troubled and distressed. She thought that by teaching him Bhagavatam, he had made my son detached. Although she never uttered a word, but in her heart, it was not external, but internally, her heart was bitter or sour that because of him, my son is living a celibate life. So because of this, Chachimata couldn't manifest the love. When she heard this, she went and bowed down at the feet of Advaita Acharya and bowed down. And Advaita Acharya said that, what are you doing? You are the mother of the Lord himself. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Bhagavatam. He said that just by bowing down at his lotus feet will not suffice. You should take the dust of his lotus feet and put on your head. Till that point, you will not get the love of the Godhead. She took the lotus dust, the dust of the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya on her head, and then she attains the loving devotional service towards the Lord. And the meaning of this signifies that although she was the mother of the Lord himself, yet if you offend a devotee of the Lord, then you will get everything, but you will be devoid of the love of the Lord. If you want a desire to have love of the God, then we should never offend any Vaishnava or a devotee of the Lord.
इस प्रकार से श्री अद्वैत आचार्य की लीला से ये हमें जानने मिलता है.
So
अद्वैत आचार्य
this is revealed in the pastimes of Advaita Acharya. So there's so many things in Advaita Acharya's life. So there's one thing that makes happy, which will give bliss. Advaita Acharya established a philosophical point amongst the associates in his group. There was a great philosophical point, and which was filled with mellows, and he proved it. And for Gaudiya and Iskcon devotees, it is very necessary for us to form, especially who have taken initiation and who are going to take initiation. It is the best. So here is the verse in front of your screen. About Advaita Acharya, it is mentioned. So please understand, who is Advaita Acharya? He is the disciple of Madhvendra Puri. As I mentioned, that he went to Udupi and there he took initiation from Madhvendra Puri. So he's the disciple of Madhvendra Puri. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is disciple of whom? So he is the disciple of Madhvendra Puri's. Madhvendra Puri's disciple Ishwar Puri is the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Advaita Acharya and Ishwar Puri are both God brothers. So if we see, in principle, Advaita Acharya is senior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always considered him to be his spiritual master. Although he himself was the Lord, yet he considered Advaita Acharya as his spiritual master, because Advaita Acharya is God brother to his spiritual master Ishwar Puri. So when they used to meet, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to address him as Guruji. And so many devotees used to be surprised. So one day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not there, and all the devotees were there. And then amongst the devotee, if someone asked, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considers spiritual master. Mahaprabhu considers Advaita Acharya as his spiritual master. But what does Advaita Acharya considers Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as? It's mentioned in this verse. So, Advaita Acharya always considered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his Prabhu, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considers Advaita Acharya as spiritual master, then he should consider Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his disciple. But he considers him the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the glory of our disciplic succession, that no spiritual master considers himself to be spiritual master, but the servitor of his disciple. And Advait Acharya always considered himself to be the servant of the Lord. He used to say that I am your humble servant, O Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So some people would say that why you are considering yourself to be a servant? Mahaprabhu is giving you respect and making you his spiritual master, so you should do the same. He said that the bliss that is there to be the servant of the Lord, so the bliss that is enjoyed by a servant is greater. And then he started educated them. It's not difficult to become Supreme Personality of Godhead, but who is far greater than Supreme Personality of Godhead himself? That is the servant. He says that becoming the servant of the Lord is so blissful that it is not even present in millions of Brahma strands. The bliss that is enjoyed by becoming servant of the Lord. And therefore, me and Nityanand Prabhu, because he is also elder to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is 12 years elder to him. And Advait Acharya is 50 years older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yet, what does he say? That me and Nityanand have servitorship's version towards him, and the bliss that we enjoy is nowhere else to be found. So, so if the person says that your understanding is wrong, everybody wants to lord it over the material universe, everybody wants to be the leader in the office and home, etc., everywhere. Then Advait Acharya gives the philosophy, and this philosophical point is amazing. He starts, so who is far greater than the goddess of fortune? Everybody is running behind her, and she is the most beloved of the Lord, and she has the position in Lord's heart. But she said that no, I don't want to stay in your heart. I want to be at your lotus feet. So, actually, she had this position in her heart, in the heart of the Lord. But she sat at the lotus feet of the Lord and started massaging his feet. So that means she became the servant of the Lord. So it is far greater to sit in the lotus feet of the Lord than sitting in his heart. Further, he adds, all the associates of the Lord serve the Lord in servitorship and enjoy the bliss. You can take example of any person, eternal associate of the Lord. So if you take example of Hanumanji, what is his mood towards the Lord? That I am the servant of Lord Sri Ram. Jai Vijay considered themselves the servant of the Lord. So all the eternal associates are in bliss by just considering themselves to be the servant of the Lord. So listen.
नारद, शुक, सनातन, एक एक का नाम रखकर कहते हैं विधि माने ब्रह्मा.
Vidhi means Brahma.
अपने आप को भगवान का दास मानता
Brahma
है.
considers himself to be the
कौन?
servant of the Lord.
तीनों लोकों का निर्माण
And who
किया,
is Brahma?
संसार को
He is the
डिजाइन
creator
किया.
of this material
भगवान का
universe.
ब्रह्मा अपने आप को भगवान का दास मानते हैं.
He considers himself to be the servant of the Lord. Bhav means
शिवजी अपने
Shiva.
आप को भगवान का दास मानते हैं.
He considers himself to be the servant of the Lord.
जब वे
Shivji was asked
ऋषि के वहां कथा सुनने जाते हैं
when he went
और
to
फिर वापस
the
लौटते हैं,
hermitage
शिवजी ने कहा,
of
ये
Kumbhajuji,
कौन है?
Sati asked, "Who is
शिवजी
he?"
कहते हैं, जासु
Shivji
कथा
replies,
पूर्वज ऋषि गाई, भगति जासु में मुनि ही बखानी, सोई मम इष्ट देव रघुवीरा, सेवत जाहि सदा मुनि धीरा. वो राम मेरे इष्ट देव
he
हैं.
says that Lord Ram
भगवान
is
श्री
my
रामचंद्र का दास.
presiding deity and I am his humble servant.
विधि माने ब्रह्मा,
So,
भव माने
so
शिवजी,
Vidhi means Brahma, Bhav means Shivji, then Narad.
नारद जी अपने आप को
Narad
भगवान
ji
का दास
also
मानते हैं.
considers himself to be the
फिर
servant
आगे
of the
कहते हैं
Lord.
शुक.
Further, he adds
सुखदेव
Shuk,
गोस्वामी अपने आप
that
को
is
भगवान
Shukdev
का दास
Goswami,
मानते हैं.
also considers himself to be the servant of the Lord. Sanatan,
गोस्वामी अपने आप को भगवान का दास मानते हैं. सो इस प्रकार दास बनकर
so this Sanatan Goswami also considers himself
वो
to
मालिक
be
बनकर, स्वामी बनकर
the servant of the Lord. So the bliss that they're enjoying by being
सब लोग दास
the
बनना
servant
चाहते
of the
हैं,
Lord cannot be
लेकिन
achieved
उनके मन में
by
दास
any
बनने
other
की
mode.
होड़ क्यों है?
And why they all want to be
फिलोसफी का
the
ये सिद्धांत है.
servant of the Lord. So this is the philosophical point.
प्रेमेर यही एक अपूर्व प्रभाव, कृष्ण के प्रेम का एक
So the love of the Godhead,
कि कितना भी बड़ा
that is
आदमी
Krishna
क्यों
Prema,
हो, वो अपने आप को कृष्ण का दास ही मान लेता है. ये कृष्ण प्रेम का स्वरूप है.
so this is
आप
the
अगर
form
कृष्ण
of
से प्रेम करोगे
the Krishna Prem,
तो स्वाभाविक कृष्ण
that
आप अपने आप को कृष्ण का दास मानोगे.
automatically you will consider yourself to be the servant of the Lord.
प्रमाण शुक शास्त्रेर व्याख्यान महद अनुभव जाते सुदृढ़ प्रमाण. और इसका प्रमाण आपको
And the
श्रीमद्
proof is there in Shrimad Bhagavatam
द्वारा प्राप्त हो.
by Sri Shukdev Goswami.
श्रीमद् भागवत जी में वर्णन है.
It is mentioned in Shrimad
शुरू
Bhagavatam.
कर दिया.
Advaita Acharya started
बोले
thus.
अन्यर का कथा, बाकी बहुत सारे के नाम लिए, बोले
Is that there?
आलू चालू को छोड़ दो, मुझे ये बताओ नंद महाराज कौन है?
He's asked that who is Nand Maharaj?
कृष्ण के बाप, कृष्ण के पिता.
He is the father of Lord Shri Krishna.
कोई ऐसा बाप है जो अपने बेटे का
It
दास
is,
बन जाए?
is there any
बाप
father
का
who
स्थान तो
becomes servant of the Lord?
बेटा छोटा ही
Father
होता है.
is greater
और
than the
नंद
son,
बाबा कैसे पिता है?
but
तो यहाँ लिखा है
how
अनियर का कथा,
is Nand Baba?
नंद महाशय तार सम गुरु कृष्ण आर के हो नहीं. नंद बाबा से बड़ा कृष्ण के जीवन में और कौन हो सकता है?
Who is far greater than Nand Baba in Krishna's life?
ईश्वर ज्ञान न
And he
जाना.
had this pure
नंद बाबा
paternal
का
affection
कृष्ण के
towards him.
प्रति शुद्ध वात्सल्य भाव, एक पल के लिए भी कृष्ण को भगवान नहीं मानते
He
थे.
never considered him to be
लेकिन
the Lord,
उस नंद बाबा
but
ने भी अपने आप को
still
कृष्ण का दास
he
स्वीकार किया.
always considered himself to be the servant of Lord
श्रीमद्
Krishna.
भागवत जी में यह
In
श्लोक
Shrimad Bhagavatam,
ये
this
नंद बाबा ने
verse
किस प्रकार से कृष्ण को अपना
is
दास
mentioned
स्वीकार किया.
that how Nand Baba considers himself to be the
एक
servant
समय
of
की
the
बात है,
Lord. This is
जिस
at
समय
the
कृष्ण
time
ब्रज
when
को छोड़कर चले गए
Krishna has left
और
Vraj
उद्धव जी
Vrindavan
कृष्ण
and
का
Uddhav
संदेश
ji
लेकर ब्रज में आते हैं.
has came to Vraj
और
with
उद्धव को
Krishna's
देखकर नंद
message,
बाबा उद्धव के चरणों में बैठ जाते हैं.
and Nand
और
Baba,
उद्धव के
seeing
चरणों
him,
में
sits
बैठकर
at
नंद
his
बाबा
feet.
क्या कहते हैं? भागवत
And
का
what
ये
does he
श्लोक है,
say? Is mentioned in
10वां
this
स्कंद
verse from the 10th
47
canto,
नंबर का अध्याय
47th chapter,
66 नंबर का श्लोक.
66th verse.
नंद बाबा कहते हैं
Nand
कि
Baba
उद्धव
says, "O Uddhav,
मनसो वृत्तयो नहस्यु कृष्ण पदाम्बुज बुजाश्रया कृष्ण भले हमको छोड़कर चला गया
that
है
although Krishna has left us
तुम कृष्ण को ईश्वर मानते हो
and you consider Krishna to be the Lord, then I have no objection, no matter say whatever you want to say, but I just want to add something from my point is that my mind
निरंतरम कृष्ण पदाम्बुजाश्रया हमारा मन सदैव
that my
कृष्ण
heart
के चरण कमलों में
is
लगा हुआ है
totally engaged in the
ये
lotus feet
दास
of
भावना दास की दृष्टि जब प्रभु के चरणों में
Krishna.
होती है
So a servant's
तो हमारा मन भी
focus is
भगवान कृष्ण के
always
चरणों का
on the
आश्रय
feet
लिया है
of his
और
Lord.
वाचो अभिधाई हमारी वाणी
Our speech
निरंतर उनके नाम का कीर्तन करती है
constantly chants his
और
name,
कायस्तत हमारी
Kayastat, that means our body,
उस कृष्ण को प्रणाम करती है
bows down
बेटा है लेकिन
towards
फिर
him.
भी
So he's the
हमारी
son,
काया उसको प्रणाम
yet
करती है वाणी उनके नाम का
we
कीर्तन
bow
करती
down
है
towards him.
और मन
His,
सदैव
his
कृष्ण के
our speech
चरणों में
is
लगा रहता
for
है
chanting his names, and
और
our
कर्म
heart is
विविध
focused
किए
on the lotus feet of him.
हम हमारे कर्म अनुसार
And
या फिर ईश्वर की इच्छा से
by
जहाँ कहीं भी
Lord's
हम
desire,
जाएं,
wherever we go,
हम जितने भी शुभ कर्म करते हैं
and
दान
whatever
पुण्य
austerity we
इत्यादि जो
perform
भी मंगल
or
कार्य करते
charity
हैं
that we
कीर्तन आदि
do
कहते हैं
perform,
ये इसीलिए करते हैं
we
ताकि
do
हमारा
all of
मन
that
हमारी रति मति गति
so
कृष्ण
that
में लग जाए
our heart, mind, and soul is focused
तो
in
नंद
Lord
बाबा
Shri
के इन
Krishna.
वचनों से ये ज्ञात होता है
So by
कि
this,
कृष्ण के पिता
we
हैं
can understand that
लेकिन फिर
although
भी
Krishna
नंद
is his
बाबा
father, yet
अपने आप को
Nand
कृष्ण
Baba
का दास बनने में
considers himself
संकोच नहीं कर
to
रहे
be
हैं
the servant
वो
of
अपने आप
the
को
Lord,
कृष्ण का दास
and he
मान रहे
doesn't
हैं
feel any shame in that.
फिर आगे कहते हैं
Further,
कि नंद
he
बाबा
adds,
छोड़िए ब्रज में
that,
कृष्ण के
forget about
सखाओं
Nand
को
Baba,
देखिए
just look at his
श्री दामादि व्रज
associates.
सखार निचय व्रज में श्रीदाम आदि जितने भी सखा है
So his associates like
ज्ञान
Sridham,
नहीं है
etc.,
उनमें कोई ऐश्वर्य ज्ञान नहीं कृष्ण के साथ
they had
खेलते
no
कूदते
fame or
भक्ति भी
knowledge.
करते हैं
They used
कृष्ण
to
संगे युद्ध
even
किए
chastise
स्कंधे
Krishna.
आरोहण कृष्ण के साथ युद्ध करते हैं कृष्ण के
They used to
कंधों पे बैठ
fight.
जाते हैं
They used to sit on his
लेकिन
shoulder.
उन ब्रज के सखाओं का भी
But
तार
even
कृष्ण में
those
दास्य भाव
associates had
कृष्ण के अंदर
the
दास्य भाव
mood
है
of
और वो
servitorship
दास्य भाव
towards
के
the Lord.
कारण करे चरण
And because of
सेवा
that,
कृष्ण
they
के
used to
चरणों की
serve
सेवा
the lotus
करते
feet
हैं
of the Lord.
प्रमाण श्रीमद् भागवत
And the
दसवां
proof
स्कंद
is
15वां अध्याय
in Shrimad
17वें नंबर
Bhagavatam,
का
10th
श्लोक
canto, 15th chapter,
कृष्ण
17th
दो
verse.
चारण लीला कर रहे हैं
So
सखाओं
this
के
is the
साथ खेल
time
रहे
when
हैं
he is
और
going to
खेलते
graze the
खेलते
cows
कृष्ण
and
एक
he's
वृक्ष के
playing with
नीचे
his friends. And
जब
while
आराम कर
playing, they're
रहे हैं
sitting under the tree, he's
तब
resting.
सखा श्लोक में
So
सुखदेव
his
जी कहते हैं
friends,
पाद
it is
सम्माहनम चक्रुषु
mentioned by Shukdevji
कृष्ण
here,
के सखा कृष्ण के चरणों
all
को
his
भगवान
friends
कृष्ण के चरणों को दबाते हैं
are massaging
पीठों को
his feet
पंखा डालते हैं कृष्ण की
and
सेवा करते हैं
fan him and serve him. Thus,
तो दास्य भाव अद्वैत आचार्य कहते हैं नंद बाबा को कृष्ण में दास्य भाव है कृष्ण के सखाओं को
so Advaita Acharya says that
शिव
his
विष्णु
father
ब्रह्मा को भी
Nand
दास्य
his
भाव है तो तुम्हारा
associates
क्यों वांधो है हैं?
like
तुम्हारा
Hanuman,
क्या प्रॉब्लम है
etc., and
हैं?
Sridham, etc., all
दास्य
have the
भाव में जो आनंद
mood
है
of servitorship.
वो
So
आनंद
what?
और कोई किसी भाव
Because
में नहीं
that bliss is
आपका
there
जो
in
आनंद है वो
serving the
कभी
Lord is
अभी
none
उसका खत्म नहीं हुआ
is
अब तो वो
not going to be
टेम्पररी
found
आनंद ले
anywhere.
रहे हैं
So further
और
he
ये
adds,
गोपियों के पास जाते हैं
he
ये सब
refers to
छोड़ो
the gopis. He
कृष्ण
says,
की
forget about
प्रेयसी
everyone, but
कृष्ण
what
की
about
प्रिया
the
गोपिया
Krishna Priyasi, the
व्रज
beloved
जत
gopis
गोपिका
of the
व्रज में
Lord?
जितनी भी गोपियां हैं जार पाद धूली करे उद्धव प्रार्थन श्री उद्धव जी के चरणों में
Shri
प्रार्थना
Uddhav
करती हैं
ji
जहाँ सभाओं
request,
परे
oh, they request at the
उद्धव
lotus
जी
feet of Uddhav ji,
जिन गोपियों के चरणों की रज की कामना करते हैं
the Uddhav ji
उद्धव
who
जी जिन गोपियों के चरणों की
desires
दाता
the
पिता बनने के लिए तैयार हैं
dust of the lotus feet of the gopis, who are referred to as the love personified by Surdas ji. And what does these gopis consider themselves to be? What they want to be of Krishna? It is mentioned in this screen.
Janartihan Virayoshitam Nija Jana Smaya Dvansana Smita Bhaj Sakhe Bhavat Kinkarismano Jalaruha Nanam Charudashaya. गोपियां कहती हैं,
So the gopis say in Gopi Gita, Vrajajan Artihan, that you are the remover of the distress of the denizens of Raja. We have venerated you. Krishna says that who are you? And they reply, Bhavat Kinkari, that we are your Kinkari. Kinkari means servant of the Lord. So we are your servant. Even the gopis of Raja wants to be the servant of the Lord. And in the other verse, it is clearly mentioned,
Jodara Shri Mrusha Dusha Surat Nath Te Ashulk Dasi Ka. ये गोपी कृष्ण की क्या बनना चाहती हैं?
So the gopis want or desire is to be the servant of the Lord, Dasika. That is what Advaita Acharya is trying to teach, that even the great gopis want to be the servant of the Lord. Then if we discuss about Srimati Radharani, even Srimati Radharani herself considers herself to be the servant of the Lord. In Shrimad Bhagavatam's verse, Radharani tells Krishna, "O Krishna, where are you? Dasi aste. I am your servant, O Krishna. And please bestow your mercy on me and give your darshan." So, in all the moods, that is paternal affection or madhurya, all consider themselves to be the servants of the Lord. So the feeling of servitorship has been kept by everyone. That is the nature of love towards the Lord. And if we give the example of queen or wife of Krishna, that is Rukmani ji, that is all his wives, they are all his wives, yet they consider themselves to be the servitor of the Lord. So I just want to reveal that how much fortunate we are that they all are begging to be the servant of the Lord. And by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we already have become the servants of the Lord. How much mercy we have of the Lord, that such great devotees desire such situation. By mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev, we have got this position of the servitor or servant of the Lord. So it is said that I was burning by performing austerity, and by just knowing that I am getting burnt in separation with Lord Krishna and touched his feet to me. And from Maharashtra, he brought me to Dwarika. And this is the feeling of Rukminiji. He accepted me as his wife, but I want to be the broom of Krishna's home. I am the goddess of Arjun Lakshmi. I am the daughter of King Bhishmak, and Shyam Sundar married me and made me his wife. But what do I consider myself? You tad grihe marjani. I want to be the broom of the Lord's home. That is the mood of Srimati Rukmani Devi. And yesterday we heard about Balramji as well. That how he, by making himself a servant in the form of Nityanand Prabhu, serves Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is why Advaita Acharya concludes in the first line, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considers me to be the spiritual master, but still I have the mood of servitorship towards him. He might consider me as the spiritual master, but I consider myself to be the servant of the Lord. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that some consider themselves to be the servant, some they don't consider themselves to be the servant. But whether you agree or not, but we all are the servants of the Lord. If you see, read the third line, some agree, some don't. But in the element, all the living entities are servants of the Lord. And those who don't consider themselves to be the servitor of the Lord, in the fourth line, it's mentioned, who don't considers himself to be the servant of the Lord will be destroyed, and he is a grave sinner. And I just want to say in my
गाइए चैतन्य दास मोहि चैतन्य दास चैतन्य दास मोहि चैतन्य दास चैतन्य दास मोहि चैतन्य दास चैतन्य दास मोहि तार दासेर दास.
So Advaita Acharya says that, or concludes, he says that in my perspective, who is the servant of Lord Chaitanya, I am the servant of them. Thus, he explains. So in his lifetime, with his disciples, and he has shared this principle that it is greater to be the servant of the Lord. How great people desire to be the servitor of the Lord. So once Krishna was asked by Arjuna that who is greatest in this world. Krishna replied, he said that the greatest is Mother Earth. It provides everything to sustain ourselves in this. So Arjuna said that, are you sure? But he said that even the sea is greater than Earth. Earth is 33%, but 70% is the ocean, which surrounds the earth. So then he says that there is even far greater than ocean, that is Kumbhaj Rishi, because he drank the whole ocean. So from earth, ocean is greater, and from ocean, Kumbhaj Rishi is greater. Then he said that even greater than Kumbhaj Rishi is the sky, because he also in the form of a star resides in the sky. So that means the sky is greater. Then Arjuna said that, is it final answer? You said that there is someone who is greater than the sky, and he says that me. Is it that when I took the form of Vaman, I covered the whole earth and sky, so I am greater than the sky. So you should have told straight away that you are the greatest. He said that you're the, and he said that there is someone who is far greater than me as well. And he said that my servant is greater than me. It is mentioned in the 9th canto, the Lord reveals that I am totally surrendered to my servant. That is why they are far greater than me. So I just want to conclude that the position of the servant of the Lord is greater than the position of the Supreme Personality of the Lord. So, therefore, although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considers Advaita Acharya as a spiritual master, but Advaita Acharya considers himself to be the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is a great personality, and he has two wives, Sita Devi and Yogma, because he himself is the combined form of Shiva and Vishnu. So Mahavishnu's is Lakshmi, so from there Sita ji, and Shivji's wife Parvati is Yogmaya, and he had numerous sons, and the eldest was Achyutanand, and then from there is a disciplic succession. So when we go to Vrindavan, there is a banyan tree which is called as Advait Vrat. So near to that, he manifested Madan Mohan on this place. So Madan Mohan manifested here, and they were presented to Sanatana Goswami by him. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to live this celibate life, he kept it secret and only shared with 6 people. And among those 6 people, one was Advait Acharya.
चैतन्य महाप्रभु केशव भारती से संन्यास लिए, मुंडन किए
He
और घर
took
छोड़कर निकले।
the
अद्वैत आचार्य
vow
को
of celibacy,
भाव था। श्री चैतन्य
and
महाप्रभु
Advait Acharya
ने
had
कैसे
parental
समझा
affection
बुझाकर
towards him.
अद्वैत आचार्य अपने घर पर लेकर आए।
He took
संन्यास के
him to
बाद
his home.
चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने
After
3 दिन तक
sannyas,
कुछ नहीं खाया था।
for 3 days, he didn't
चैतन्य महाप्रभु 3
eat
दिन तक
anything.
भूखे रहे थे। अद्वैत आचार्य कैसे देख सकते हैं? जैसे
How
तैसे
could
चीजें
Advait Acharya
कृपा
tolerate this?
करके
And
श्री अद्वैत
by
आचार्य
conceit
चैतन्य महाप्रभु को
or by
शांतिपुर
excuse,
अपने घर
he
लेकर आए,
brought
भोजन
him to
कराए।
Shantipur, his home,
और शची
fed
माता भी
him,
बड़ी रो रही थी, दुखी थी। तो
and
अद्वैत आचार्य
Shachi
ने
Mata was
शची
also
माता को
distressed.
बुलाया।
So he
संन्यास के
called her
धारण
as
किए
well.
चैतन्य महाप्रभु का दर्शन किया। शची
And
माता ने
they
हाथ
saw
जोड़कर कहा कि बेटा, तुझे संन्यास
the
लेना ही है, तूने निश्चय किया है
celibate
कि
life.
मैं संन्यास, कोई बात नहीं, तू संन्यास
When
ले,
she saw
लेकिन
the
मैं विधवा
form
हूँ,
as
आगे
celibate,
पीछे कोई नहीं
so
है,
she said that
मेरा यही
now
नियम
that
है
you've taken the
कि
vow
मैं
of
ही तुझे विदा
celibacy,
कर रहा हूँ,
but now I'm a widow,
ताकि कुछ
so
संदेश देना हो तो
just
मैं
stay
तुझे
in
विदा कर
Jagannath
सकूं।
Puri,
इस प्रकार
because if I have to
शची
give
माता
you,
ने निवेदन
send you a
किया।
message, I could do
अद्वैत
that
आचार्य के घर पर
freely.
प्रसाद पवाया। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु जगन्नाथपुरी में रहे। ऐसा वर्णन है
And
कि
Chaitanya
प्रत्येक
Mahaprabhu
वर्ष
stayed in
रथ
Jagannath Puri.
यात्रा के
And
दौरान,
it is said that every year
चतुर्मास के
during
दौरान
the Rath Yatra
अद्वैत आचार्य
and Chaturmas,
रायपुर से 400
Advait
लोगों को
Acharya
लेकर चैतन्य
used to
महाप्रभु के
take
घर पर
400
आए
people to meet
और
Chaitanya
चैतन्य
Mahaprabhu
महाप्रभु के लिए व्यंजन भोग सामग्री लेकर
and
जाते
take the
और
food
4 महीने अद्वैत
offerings for
आचार्य
him.
चैतन्य महाप्रभु के
And
साथ
he
रहते थे।
used to stay for 4 months with him.
अद्वैत आचार्य के जीवन में ये भी सिद्धांत उन्होंने बताया
There is a philosophical point
कि
in his
विश्व में
life
सबसे
that
उत्तम ब्राह्मण है,
the
लेकिन
greatest of all
सबसे
is
उत्तम
Brahmana, but
वैष्णव माने गए हैं।
even greater than Brahmana
जब
is a
अद्वैत आचार्य
Vaishnava.
शांतिपुर में आए,
When Haridas Thakur came
तब अद्वैत
to
आचार्य ने भगवत गीता
Shantipur,
का
Advait
सिद्धांत पूरा
Acharya
करना था,
was
तो
performing
सारे
the
ब्राह्मणों को
veneration
बुलाकर
ceremony
हरिदास
of his
ठाकुर जी को
father,
बुलाए।
and he invited all the
ब्राह्मणों को शांति
Brahmanas
है,
and Haridas Thakur
सारे ब्राह्मण क्रोधित
as
हो गए,
well.
ये मुसलमान
So
लोग
all
आए हैं,
the
अद्वैत आचार्य
Brahmanas
कई
were upset
वैष्णव
that
हैं
he is
और
a
आपके साथ
Muslim.
पंगत में बैठकर
So
प्रसाद
he said
लेंगे,
that he is a
बताइए
Vaishnava
हम
and
प्रसाद
he will
नहीं
sit
खाएंगे। अद्वैत आचार्य
beside
ने
you
ये
and
सिद्धांत
have
बताया। आपको
prasadam.
इंग्लिश आती है ना?
And
इंग्लिश आवड़े છે ને કે શીખવાડું?
this is what
अद्वैत
he
अद्वैत आचार्य
said.
ने ये सिद्धांत कहा कि ब्राह्मणा नाम सहस्त्रेभ्य सत्र याजी विशिष्यते, सत्र याजी सहस्त्रेभ्य सर्व वेदांत पारगः, सर्व वेदांत वित कोटया विष्णु भक्त विशिष्यते, विष्णु वैष्णवा नाम सहस्त्रेभ्य एकांत एको विशिष्यते। बरोबर ने केयूर भाई? तो ब्राह्मणा नाम सहस्त्रेभ्य,
So Advaita Acharya says that among thousands of Brahmanas, there are a special Brahmana who performs yajna, and thus 1,000 fire sacrificing Brahmana, a greater is the one who knows the Vedic scriptures and injunctions, but greater than them is the worshipper of Lord Vishnu. And in comparison to thousands of Vishnu's devotee is equivalent to one devotee of Lord Shri Krishna. So as you're aware that all the Brahmanas became upset. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did the pastimes, and 48 years passed, and he saw that this Kali is not good enough for the Lord. So from Mayapur he sent a message, and that message was nothing else but to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that your goal has been achieved, and now you can enter your eternal abode or eternal abode of the past, eternal pastimes. So who could dare to say this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Only Advait Acharya could do that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this material world and all his eternal associates were distressed in separation with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he consoled them all. And for 16 more years he stayed. He stayed there for 50 years when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not there. And he stayed with him for 48 years. And after that, he stayed for 16 years more to console all associates of the Lord. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, it was easier to live. But to live in separation with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to take care of his associates was very difficult. And this is what Acharya did it. He had this strength. That is why Narottam Das writes, he is the most potent, and that is why he could console and keep them, all the associates of the Lord. So we seek the shelter and mercy of Advaitacharya to give us potency and strength so that we can pursue the path of our devotional service. So today we heard about the third element, that is Advaitacharya. You all have been listening with patience and love. I'm really thankful to all of you. I especially want to thank the Vadukul family, the host of this family, Shri Bharat Bhai, Nayan Manjari Mataji, Vidur Prabhu, Vidurani Mata, Kirit Bhai, and Renuka Mata. In reverie of their ancestors, Jeevan Yadav Ji Vadukul, Vandiben Vadukul. I'm extremely thankful to all of you. By all your association help, we are able to listen about Gaur Leela, which is rarely spoken. If you search, the pastimes of the 5 elements is not real. It's just done for 15-20 minutes. But just listening about the glories of the pastimes is very rare, which is happening here by the help of the Vadukul family. And it's not that people are, the speakers are there, but the listeners are not there. People want to listen about Rama and Krishna. They don't want to listen about the elements. But you all are taking time and making effort to listen to this. I'm really grateful to all of you. So let's conclude the session with Jai Jaikar, the 5th day of this Panchatatva Katha.
श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की